Hi, I'm going to do a little bit more natural glam look. So using more neutral and natural colors, but we're going to throw in a couple little pops to kind of glam it up. So this is the compact I'm using today. I'm going to use some setting spray on my face first. So our setting spray works as primer also. Let me get my hair out of the way. You can spray this directly on your face, or if you don't like that instant contact with the spray, you can totally spray it on your damp perfector sponge and dab it where you want it. Sometimes I will add a little bit extra on the places where I have maybe some bigger pores or some fine lines. So under my eyes, my nose, and my chin. Now I've already moisturized under this, so I am ready to go. I'm going to start with my main highlight. And I'm going to apply this almost all over. So I'm using this one today. It's candlelit. And with a little bit fuller coverage, I'm going to use the buff brush. And I like the bigger side for this. So I'm going to kind of dab that color almost everywhere. If you've seen the little chart, you'll notice that we just put makeup in one layer where it needs to go. So I'm going to put this on, and then I'll put my contour in some other areas that I haven't touched. So like up here and here. And you can blend as you go, but sometimes it's just as nice to dab it where you want it. Now, if you have any darkness under your eyes, use that darker color and just lightly dab under there. Okay. And then I'm going to, oh, darn it. I'm going to flip the brush over and use the small side for my contour. And your contour is a little bit stiffer consistency. I like to go right on or just above my cheekbone, so not where it dips in, but just above that. And I like to not go past that outside corner of my eye. I've noticed this is a lot more uplifting. So if you kind of get a nice little swoop on there, you can do the same on your forehead. And we're going to blend this later. Just want to make sure I get it into my hairline, and then a little bit along your jawline, just to sculpt that out. And then I always put a little bit right here. We can also use the same brush and just use the side of it to contour your nose. So when you contour your nose, you're going to want to draw the line as straight as you possibly can. And the skinnier you leave that light line in the middle, the skinnier your nose is going to look. And depending on the shape of your nose, this might be a little bit different. Since I'm already narrow up here, I tend not to contour up there as much. And this side is a little bit more bulbous, so I tend to get a little extra over there. But as long as this line in the middle looks straight, your nose will look straighter. And then you can take your finger, if you want to, into your lightest color, which is going to be your brightening highlight. And you can just draw a little line down the middle of that. We're also going to use this color on the inside corner, outside corner. I'm using linen, by the way. And then on either side of your nose. You can do this with the brush or the finger. Sometimes I just find it easy if you don't have long nails to get that right in there. And then I use a mid color. You don't have to, but that mid color I'm going to put right here where I feel like I'm a little bit hollow. You can mix your light and your dark color together to get a mid color too. This just kind of saves me that little step. And I'm going to put that in between my brows. Now later I'm going to touch up a little bit more under my eyes, but I don't want to pile on too much foundation there. So we're going to stop here, and now we're going to do the eye makeup. I like to do this because then the makeup warms up on your face. And while I'm doing the eye makeup, if I happen to have any fallout or I make a mess, I can clean that up easily with my foundation, with my highlight colors. This is just a little bit of eyeshadow primer. You can use whatever kind you like. A lot of people just use their highlight color. I've noticed this one works great for me. It's by NYX. It's about $6 on Amazon. Okay, so I put that on. It will feel a little bit tacky. I'm just going to leave that there. And I'm going to go into my eyeshadows. So the first color that I'm going to use, I'm going to grab my smudge brush, and I am going to use, it doesn't really matter which side, I'll use the flatter side. And I'm dabbing into Rome. And it's just a light, kind of fleshy, light shimmer color. I'm just going to dab this all over. And I kind of pat it in there instead of swiping it, because that primer did make it a little bit tacky. Now the next colors that I put on, it's going to be really easy to swipe those on and blend those. But the first color wash color, so that main color that I put all over, I always kind of pat it in. Okay. So I've got that one on, and I'm just wiping off my brush a little bit. I am going to go into, let me see what color this is. This is You Complete Me. I'm going to put this on my lid. You can use your brush and kind of pack it on. I'm using that same side of the brush. If you prefer, you can dab your finger into it and you can pack it on that way. I notice when I use my finger in this area, I tend to get a little bit more intensity out of colors. So I like to use my finger on my lid. Okay. And then if you want to blend that out into your crease a little bit, you can. I'm going to switch brushes. I'm going to grab my eyeshadow brush, and this is a color called Oak. I also love to use this color in my brows. And I am dabbing above my crease because my eyelids are heavy. So it's easy if you look in the mirror straight ahead and relax your eyes and put the eyeshadow where you can still see it without trying to raise your eyebrows. Because if you just put it in your crease area, it's going to disappear as soon as you open your eyes. So we want to kind of relax. Stay away from your eyebrow though. Don't touch your eyebrow. Leave a light line in between this and your brow. And then if you want to, you can kind of get a little bit more in your crease and maybe like make a little triangle. Then we're going to flip the brush over and use the fluffy side to blend. So that gave us a little bit more depth. And then I'm going to dab into this color, which is called Coal. It is our darkest brown. I'm going to kind of add a little bit extra in that little corner. So a little bit more towards that outer edge of my eye. And then same thing, I'm just going to flip over and blend that. And the further you hold your brush back, the softer touch you're going to have. It's going to be a lot easier to blend that. And I just kind of go back and forth in little circles. Blend, blend, blend. Make that a nice soft finish. We can use the same color lightly under our eye, about halfway. And that's going to create a really nice smudged eyeliner effect. I'm going to use my setting spray and this for the top eyeliner. So I'll get a little bit bolder effect since we're doing a little bit more glammy. And I've pulled that out to the corner a little bit extra. Okay. So our eyebrows. This is something that I love to do, but after I blend my foundation, I'm going to clean off my eyebrows and we're going to do those. So don't worry, I haven't forgotten about them. Let's add a little bit more glammy to our eyelids. One of the things I'm going to use is Glamazing, which is an illuminator, and I'm going to use that smudge brush again, and I'm just going to dab into it, and I'm going to get it on the very, very inner, almost inside that waterline, that little tear duct there, and just brighten things up right there. And then I'm going to put a little bit of that under my brow. And then lastly with this, we're going to use Graceland, which is this super shimmery color. And I'm going to dampen my finger with the Stay Spray. So I'm just going to spray a little bit of that on my finger. Not dripping, but just damp. And then I'm going to kind of swirl into this. And these are highly pigmented glitters. And I'm just going to pat that on my eyelid. Just right in the center. I don't really want to go out of that area. If you like more, do more. I'm going to juice up this little darkness right here a little bit. So I'm adding a little bit more of that kohl. I'm going to blend it. When we get the eyebrows and the eyeliner on, that's really when it pops. So, okay, there we go. Now with the eyeliner, I am going to grab my line brush. I'm going to use more of that Stay Spray. You can also use water, and I've just put it in the lid. And I'm dabbing that brush in there, and I'm going to tap it off so it's not dripping. And then I'm going to very lightly touch that into the eyeshadow. You can use this on any of our powder eyeshadows. And it creates like a little bit of a paste, but you can get a really, really clean line. And if you lay it on its side, you can even make a nice little wing. So get as close to your lash line as you can. If you need to add a little bit more Stay Spray, go ahead and do that. Okay. Make sure your wings are pretty even. If you don't like the harsh line on your wing, you can totally soften this when it's a little bit drier and create a little bit more smoky eye. Okay. Now let's finish our foundation. So that's nice and warmed up. I'm going to grab that buff brush again, and I'm going to start with my lighter colors, and I'm going to blend. So I kind of stipple that in, I pat it in. Be gentle around your eyes. If you want to use your finger instead, go right ahead. The denser the bristles are on a brush, the more coverage you're going to get. So the buff brush probably has the densest bristles, and that's why it's really great for this. Doesn't mean you can't use it if you don't want full coverage. You would just apply less makeup. I might need a little extra around my nose because I'm always really red right there. Okay, so I've got the light blended in. And then you can use the same side, or you can flip over if you want. I'm actually going to add a little bit of bronzer. So I'm going to use my blush and bronzer. I'm going to dab into that, and I'm going to kind of blend my contour along with it. On my cheek area. Keep that in an upward motion. I don't want to drag it down on my face. And then same with up here. I'm going to really blend that in. And this just creates a nice shadow, and it sculpts back your face. So our makeup is called 3D foundation, and it's because really when you're using highlight and contour and a brightening highlight is 3 parts 3D. And it's all your foundation. They all have coverage in them. Don't forget your nose. Okay, Okay, so we've got that. And then if you want to go in and kind of touch up a little bit more under your eyes, I'm going to use that mid color for right there. And I like to pat in with my finger. I always use my ring finger because it has the lightest touch. And then if we have any little blemishes to cover up, which I do, I'm going to grab my multitasker brush. I like to use the small side, and I am using the darker of my highlight colors because I'm covering dark. So I'm just dotting exactly on that spot, and I'll let it sit there for a little bit. So it warms up. And I'll blend it in a second. While that's warming up, I'm going to add a little bit of illuminator. Oh, and cheek color. So let's grab that blush and bronzer again, and I'm going to use the smaller side. This is a color called Royal. It's a nice gloss, and it's definitely like a burgundy. But this is a nice way to glam things up without having to have it too heavy. If you just pick a color that's a little bit darker or a little bit brighter. You can also wear this on your lips. Let's first line our lips. I'm going to grab that multitasker again. I'm going to use my contour. You can use the bronzer for this too. But I'm just going to go a little bit outside my lips. Just to create a little extra fullness. And then I'm going to grab that same cheek color and put it on my lips. Okay, let's add a little bit of illuminator. So we're going to glam this up a little bit more. Remember that glamazing that I used? I'm going to grab the blend brush and the fluffier side, and I'm going to lightly tap into it. This is a powder, and I'm going to hit the high points of my cheek. And I just really lightly, you don't need to swipe. A little bit goes a long way with this. And make sure you turn and check, because you won't think you're putting anything on, and then all of a sudden you'll be like, oh, there it is. And I kind of do a little C motion right here and a little bit down my nose. You can even put this in the center of your lips. So we've still got some natural colors, but it's starting to look a little bit more glowy and glammy. All right, so now eyebrows. Eyebrows and mascara are going to make a huge difference with this look. So before I do my mascara, let me curl my eyelashes. Okay, I'm going to wipe off my eyebrows, and then we are going to juice those up a little bit. Okay, so I've got the foundation out of there, and I'm going to use my Stay Spray again. I'm going to spray my spoolie end of my line brush just to dampen that, and then I'm going to run it into my brow wax. So just go back and forth lightly and get a little bit on that spoolie, and it's going to act like a gel for your brows, and really get it in there and brush those up. A little bit goes a long way. So this brow wax will probably last you a lifetime. So just really kind of get those groomed up to where you like them. I've been liking mine a little bit fluffier. And then I'm going to flip over to the other side. I had that coal color on there that I used as eyeliner. I'm just wiping it off a little bit, even though I'm going to use the exact same color to fill in my eyebrows. So I'm just going to lightly tap into that. I like to start in my arch area so I can just give that a little bit more definition. And I'm really lightly drawing that on. And then right under here, give that a little bit more oomph. Okay. A good strong brow makes a difference. All right, I was just saying that I needed to blend that a little bit more. Don't forget to blend those dots now that they're nice and warm. Okay, I could probably add a little bit more cheek color. I've been putting this a little bit higher up on my cheeks too. Not so much right on the cheekbone, not on the apples, but a little bit higher on the cheekbone. It's a bit more uplifting. All right, and mascara. If you really want to glam this up, throw on some false eyelashes. Okay, if you'd like to set some areas with powder, now's the time to do it. I'm going to grab my Power Powder brush. I'm going to use the flat side for this. And I'm just going to go in a little bit around my eyes. And this just creates a really soft, filtered look. It'll also keep your makeup on. It's a little bit extra staying power. So you can put it wherever you want. But look at the difference it made from here to here. It just creates a nice diffused look. So I definitely like to put it around my eyes. Okay, if you want to glam a little extra, you can juice up your contour. I love contour. So this is where it kind of can get really fun if you just want to really sculpt that out a little bit more. Add a little bit extra right there close to your hairline. Another couple of little tips that you can do with your highlight color is you can take the mid one and you can just take a dot of it and put it right under your cheekbone. That'll create a little extra pop there. You can also take your multitasker brush, take your lightest color and just run it under your brow right there. And then very lightly, you're going to blend this. So you can use another brush or you can use your finger. I'm just going to grab this eyeshadow brush that I wiped off and just blend that. Just kind of gives a little extra pop. Without messing up your brows or your eyeshadow. All right, so that is a little bit more glammy look using some natural colors. and a little pop of shimmer sparkle there. So if you have any questions about anything that I used, or if you'd like to set up your own custom palette, let me know. I can help you do that. Everything is magnetized. When you run out of something, you only replace that one thing. So there you go. Thanks. Have a beautiful day.